Hello, everyone. Welcome, English lovers. And let me say a warm welcome to my dear friend and amazing speaker of the language, Soraya. So today for me is a special day because we are going to have a very precious and valuable conversation where Soraya is going to tell us some of her secrets that helped her to become the English speaker that she want to be. And now, yeah, and now welcome Soraya.
Oh, thank you so much, Alessandro, for having me. Thank you for the invite.
And thank you so much for accepting the invitation. So, for the people who don't know you, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and just to let us know something about yourself and your learning path?
Okay, well, I am Soraya. I am originally from Colombia, although I have been living in Spain for 20 years now. It's my home, and I really like this country. I am a communications professional, and I've been working on my English for a long time. And yes, let's say that in this moment I am in a really sweet moment because I am enjoying the possibility to talk confidently with clarity and also to connect with many people around the world.
Yeah, and I love what you just said because in the end, and I mentioned this many times on my channel, what it counts the most is being able to communicate with other human beings. Is not about perfection or to sound in a certain way instead of another, but just communicate, just to be able to convey your message with clarity, confidence, and to be understood possibly by everyone. That's, I think, my purpose, the purpose of this channel. And I think that, I don't know, but maybe you agree with me. I don't know. What is your point of view?
Yes, I agree with you 100%. I believe that English, as any language, is a tool, a communication tool. And I absolutely believe that the important thing is to be able to connect with other people, to exchange ideas, messages, to build rapport, to make friends, to have fun, to convey any message mm, that you want to do. And yes, it is not a matter of being perfect because we are speakers of English as a second language, and I am fully aware about that. That is not my purpose. I am not obsessed with the idea of talking as a native speaker. But I do believe that it's important to do a good performance in terms of accuracy, that way that your communication, your way of speaking are fluent and clear.
Yeah. And can you tell us, because sometimes as you said, speakers as a second language is a second language, or maybe the third one, and sometimes we are a little bit afraid of making mistakes, or maybe we don't know how to overcome a situation where we are not sure if the other person is going to be able to understand what we want to say. So, in your experience, what you usually do to overcome this situation?
Well, first of all, to understand that yes, I am doing my effort in order to convey my message in a language that fortunately I understand and in a way I am fluent in this moment, but it's a language that I haven't been speaking since I was a child. First of all, have some grace with myself. And another thing that is important, even in your own language, when you are communicating with somebody, is to try to make sure that you convey your message clearly, asking for feedback, asking the other person, do you mean what I'm trying to say or not? Or but that is normal in any language. The problem perhaps is that when we are speaking in English or in another second or third language, we tend to believe that perhaps this is going to be a mistake. They are not going to trust in my performance or
Mhm.
something like that. But think of you speaking in Italian, or if I think of myself speaking in Spanish, in order to get rid of those communication mishaps, we have to try to be clear, but also to ask for feedback to the other person with any problem.
Yeah, yeah. And just because I want to share through this channel something very specific, so giving some details about what was really meaningful to your ongoing process, so the key factors that transformed your path to English fluency. Can you tell us more?
Yes, yes, that is a great question, and I was reflecting about that. And I would say that for me, there has been two factors that are fundamental. The first of them is that nowadays I understand clearly the international phonetic alphabet. And I believe that understanding the IPA is crucial in order to build a solid base for our performance in English. Why? Because obviously, in my case, for example, I am an Spanish native speaker. I could understand the huge differences that are in terms of many sounds between the Spanish and English languages. For example, the vowels. In Spanish, we have five vowel sounds and some diphthongs. But in English, there are many, many more vowel sounds than in Spanish. And there are vowels long and short. And those vowels doesn't exist. Those sounds doesn't exist in Spanish. So I had to learn how to produce those sounds. And the other factor that for me was or has been mind blowing is the schwa sound. And perhaps this sounds simple for some people, but it's crucial for a Spanish speaker because we tend to pronounce many words with our a, e, I, o, u vowels, when in reality there is a schwa there because schwa is the most prevalent sound in English.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm struggling like you. It's the same in Italy. So because like you, when I say I see a sound for me is a. It's not like a father sound or the schwa the same. So that it's a very the schwa is a very lazy vowel But we are going to talk about it in the next in the last part of this episode. But let's to dig even deeper. So we can start with something very specific. So minimal pairs, the lax
Yeah.
e, and the tense e sound. So let's see just few examples, and if you don't mind, you can try to repeat these words.
Okay, let's try to do it well. Sit, sit, bet, beat, chip, cheap.
Great. Okay, it's my turn. Okay. Sit, seat, bit, beat, chip, cheap. So I think as we mentioned many times, so here there is no magical ingredients or something magic. It's
No,
about repetition, a
yeah,
lot of repetitions, and it doesn't have to be boring because you can nowadays also we have a lot of resources online. We can create stories. We can use the IPA and creating a story and also having the IPA always available with us. So anyway, when you are there could be something out of tune or maybe you noticed something that it wasn't correct, and you can check immediately.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I think and we have plenty of opportunities. So you can use a story, a dialogue, a monologue, a poem, I don't know, a TV series. There are a lot of things that we can do practicing, of course, improving our speaking skills and get used to phonetics, IPA, and so on. But it doesn't mean that repetition, because someone told me, but repetition after a while it's going to become boring. But I don't agree, because you can create your own space, like your own personal gym. You go to the gym and you do your training. I prefer training instead of practicing, because otherwise we are gonna see ourselves and perceive ourselves as a student forever. And I prefer to say speakers of the language for
yes,
a lifetime.
yes, yes, absolutely. I agree with you. We are the speakers of a second language or a third language, but yes, we are the speaker. Is a long life process, and for that reason, I believe that is key to enjoy the process. For me, it's not at all boring. Having the opportunity to practice, and as you said, it's also a challenge to look for new strategies that can be more creative, or to try to do things that I have never done in English. um, for example, one of my own challenges was, well, what about the possibility of conducting interviews in English? And I did it. And that was unbelievable for me to believe in that possibility years ago, but now I can do it. So, you, as learners and as speakers of this language, we can create many strategies to keep working on that in a creative and funny way.
Yeah, yeah, we are on the same page. Okay, let's go on with the minimal pairs SZ sound. Okay,
Oh, yes, this is another of the sounds that we Spanish speakers have to work
yeah,
hardly, because we, in many dialects of Spanish, we don't perceive the differences. Let's say that in Spain, in the Spanish of Spain, there is a clear difference in the pronunciation of S and Z. But in my Latin American Spanish, that difference doesn't exist. So yes, in English also, I would say that the difference is more pronounced. Yeah.
yeah. So you have to work even harder. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, let's do it. Okay,
Okay. Let's go. I, eyes, place, place, price, price, raise, raise.
yeah, great. And this is the demonstration for the people who are maybe watching now us, and who's going to watch us later, that this is one of the way to implement your and to become familiar with this kind of differences, minimal pairs, that in your real conversations can help you immensely to convey your message
Yeah.
clearly. That's the main goal.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
okay, let me try. Okay, I, eyes, place, plays, price, prize, race, raise. Yeah, and
Great.
also the R sound as Italian.
Great.
Okay, let's keep moving forward. Okay, minimal pair, ch and sh sound, if I'm not mistaken. And
Okay.
your turn.
Okay. Chair, share, choose, shoes, chop, shop, which, wish, match, mash.
Yeah, my turn. Okay. Chair, share. Choose, shoes. Chop, shop. Witch, wish. Match, mash. Wow, it's so, it's very, this one is it's intense. Wow. Okay, and for the final part of this episode, I was keep you waiting because there is one thing very tricky for every speaker of the language, and the most common weak vowel in English, it is pronounced as a relaxed sound, and it's never in the primary stress, so it's a hint, very valuable, and it's called, schwa.
Sure. Yes, yes. And as you said, another something really important to understand is that it's never stress.
Yeah, never, never. And it's especially at the beginning of your learning journey, but even later when you're gonna gain more experience. But from time to time, I have to check because I've been making and I'm still making a lot of mistakes, but it's normal. It's part of the process. We don't have to be scary if after 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years of learning and taking actions, we are going to make mistakes about the schwa because the schwa is almost everywhere, and it takes time. It takes a lot of energies and repetitions and commitment to
Yeah,
be able to keep a very high quality of your not because I'm not looking for a performance, but just because as you mentioned at the beginning, accuracy,
yeah,
not perfectionism, but being accurate, being precise in order to convey your speech with clarity.
yeah, yeah. Agree.
And yeah, and we have a few examples of words with the schwa vowel. And this part is going to be really, really tricky for both of us. Okay,
Yes.
huge challenge. Let's do it.
Okay. Con- uh, content, conclusion, possible, natural, commitment, about.
Yeah. Content, conclusion, possible, natural, commitment, about. So I love this sound. So what? Tell me. I want to know at the beginning of your learning journey, or maybe later when you become familiar, just one step at a time with the schwa sound. What was your first impression?
At first, it was really tricky for me to identify this sound. It was really difficult to grasp the meaning and to listen, also to listen and recognize the sound. It was really, really difficult. And then there is the factor that we, as Spanish speakers, tend to pronounce everything with our neutral vowels, a, e, I, o, u. So, for example, if I back then, if I try to pronounce lion, I used to say lion with o. Now I understand that is lion with schwa, and mm, so there are tons of words,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah,
discover myself correcting every day or trying to correct and practicing every day because there are tons of words that we tend to pronounce with our vowels, but more than that, get, getting rid of those patterns that are ingrained in our brain, those patterns that are connected directly with our mother tongue, it's difficult and
yeah.
requires time. Yes.
Yeah, I can totally relate to your way of reasoning, because for me it was the same. So as Italian, we have of course vowels, and um, and being able to identify the schwa sound from time to time, it was difficult, and also to become familiar with it. But I think something that was helpful and is helping me nowadays is active listening. So when I listen to the radio, because I love so much listening to the radio, and I try to pay attention to what the listeners are saying, how they they saying it out loud, and maybe later on I'm gonna check by myself, because I'm not sure at that moment. I have to write it down on papers, and then I'm gonna check to see if I get it right, I got it wrong, I wasn't in the right direction, or maybe I totally misunderstood what they, because it's a question of context, because
Yes,
it plays a huge role in terms of also the ability of a listener to understand what's going on, and maybe why mm, you wasn't able to understand something, or if it was a question of maybe mispronunciation, or something that was misleading you, because as you said before, something that is still in our mind for a very long time.
yeah.
It's difficult to get rid of a reality, and to adjust to a new world, because it's something like that, at least for me.
Yes, yes, I agree with you, Alessandro. And also, there is the fact that when you are studying, usually we tend to learn this kind of, let's say, one version of the English language, the standard version. But English has many dialects, many ways of speaking, depending on the context, as you mentioned. So perhaps we can communicate with any problem with a native speaker of some part of the world, but we are unable to understand a native speaker from another country. But that's normal, because I am sure that in your country, or in my country, or here in Spain, there are different regions, different accents, even though everybody speaks Spanish, let's say that, but there are different accents, different jargon. So that's normal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's like in our native language. So there are dialects, a variety of accents, or way of reasoning, way of explaining your thoughts. And from time to time, we are not able to understand each other, even if we are Italians. In some regions, or in a specific situation, uh, because it takes time to get used to a new sound, or a new way to pronounce a vowel, or a diphthong. There are a variety of aspects of the language that we can control, or we can't know in advance, and we
Yeah.
have to improvise. That's,
Yes.
I think, life. So being able to calm down, and don't be afraid of anything, and try to, one step at a time, to understand what's going on. I have
Yes.
to improvise, adjust, and challenge myself, to prove to myself that I'm I'm still I'm on the right track, despite all the adversity, but I'm still there, and I'm still moving forward, and try to express my potential at best, or the best that I can do, considering the context, and all the things that I can control. Yeah.
Yeah. And something that I really value about this process of becoming fluent in English is the many opportunities that it has provided me in order to connect with people around the world. With you, for example, because we become friends because of this language, and it's the tool that has connected us. Um, because you don't speak Spanish, I don't speak Italian, but we have did this common ground.
Yeah.
And in this common ground, we has built our friendship, and that
Mm.
is great.
Yeah, yeah, but I totally agree with you because it's also a question of opportunities, but there's much more because you can relate to other background, cultures, lifestyles, and you learn also how to pay respect to some aspects of life, personal
Yes,
life, that you didn't even consider before getting through some experiences and something that has the power to push you to your limits or you have to deal with something totally unexpected, unique, because it's part of that culture, tradition, background. And it's a really a valuable experience in terms of not only, I mean, as a speaker of the language, but as a, on the other side, for my personal growth as a person. And because of this beautiful language, nowadays we can be here having this friendly, enjoyable conversation and possibly useful conversation for people who was watching us or who are going to watch us later. And maybe as I always saying, if you have any feedback, any question, any advice, everything is really precious because we can help each other to get better,
yes,
to get to know each other and help each other to implement our speaking skills, knowledge, expertise, and many other aspects of our own lives. Yeah.
yeah. I absolutely agree with you. I believe that in this case, English is also a kind of excuse in order to discover many talents in yourself, in order to, as I said, connect with people around the world. I really love what you said about the possibility to connect with other cultures and to understand people from different countries, the way that they think, their values, and all that through this language because it's the vehicle that connect us. I love that.
Yeah. I think that you couldn't choose better words to finish this episode of this ongoing storytelling, because for me it's like a storytelling that we are building all together. And it's not only about me, about the channel, but especially it's about you. It's about uh, the English speakers, the speakers of the language. It's about people. It's about making connections. Is about making long-lasting connections
Yes,
and enjoy the freedom of speaking out loud, and enjoying this moment that are very, I can say, worth it, valuable, and a pleasure to share this time with you. And thanks a lot for sharing your precious time with me, with us, and with anybody else.
thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Thanks again, Soraya. And as I always say, see you in the next episode.
See
Bye.
you.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.